What's up, guys? You ever hear people say, I'm afraid of change, afraid of success, I'm afraid of uncertainty? And right now I'll tell you, it's bullshit. Nobody's afraid of uncertainty. Nobody's afraid of succeeding. Right? Change is inevitable, so you're not afraid of that either. What you're afraid of is that the success or the change or the uncertainty is going to be worse than where you are. So the only thing that you're afraid of is that if I do this, if I make this change, if I, move myself out of the shitty life that I have, or this painful situation that I'm in, or this dysfunctional relationship that I'm in, or in some way, if I give up the comfort of the suffering that I'm in, then the situation that I might end up with will be more painful, will be more uncomfortable, will be in some way more depressing than where you are now. So that's the only logic to it. So if you have a belief that making the change is going to be worse than if you don't make the change, then obviously your mind will rationalize, well, then better stay here, right? So, people imprison themselves, literally. And if you're in your own prison, so to say, and I open the doors to the prison, and you have a belief that outside the prison is a scarier place than inside the prison, then you'd rather stay in the prison, right? I can open the doors and you won't leave because you have a belief that it's worse out there. See what I'm saying? So it is, you find more comfort in your suffering because you have a belief that at least I'm familiar with the suffering. At least this is predictable. But you have a negative prediction that what's out there is worse. And perhaps you even identify with the fear or the suffering or the pain. And so you've programmed yourself throughout your life or through your traumatic experiences or whatever that this pain defines me. This fucked up situation that I'm in defines me. Or I'm a screw up, or I always hate myself, or I'm no good. Whatever the limiting belief that you have about yourself, you've identified so strongly with it that you somehow feel like if you give that up, then you don't know who you are. Or I'm nobody, or I won't get love, because the only way I get love is because I get people to validate me, or sympathize with where I am, or have people feel sorry for me, or I gotta play the victim in order to be recognized or for people to see me. There's all these little psychological games you could play with yourself that most of you are not even aware of that you're doing. And what you're doing is you're keeping yourself in the same painful situation that you say you don't want to be in. But do you really want to be in there? That's the real question. And then the other aspect is a lot of people punish themselves. So maybe you grew up in a situation where you felt like you were no good, and by punishing yourself, somehow you thought that was going to help you change. And I don't know where some of you guys get that from, perhaps in your childhood programming. But understand that you don't get better by punishing yourself. You don't get better by punishing it. Nobody's gotten better by punishing. The only thing that punishing does is it gets people to conform because they want to avoid the pain. They want to avoid being punished, so that's not a positive motivator. Right? So there's many dynamics, but the point I'm getting at is you're not afraid of change, you're not afraid of uncertainty, you're not afraid of success. You are really afraid of making the change because you think that it's more painful to get yourself out of the shitty fucking situation that you're in now. So that's your excuse or justification for keeping yourself in the shitty fucking situation that you're in. So really ask yourself, Do you want to be in this shitty fucking situation? And if you don't, then you're going to have to start finding counter arguments for yourself of why you should not stay there. Alright, so that's just something to think about. If you have any questions or comments, you can post it below and maybe I'll do a follow-up video on that, alright? Thanks for watching.